Now, in this video, we are going to be finding the greatest common factor, and we'll abbreviate that with GCF. Now, we'll take a look at this piece, 4x to the fourth minus 12x squared plus 24x. And what is this greatest common factor? Let's break this down a little. We're going to find all the pieces, here's our greatest, that are in each term. There's common, they have to be, the pieces we pick have to be common to every term, and they're held together, you could say, with multiplication. And there's where we use the word factor. And that's why it's called, what we're about to find is called the greatest common factor. Well, let's take a look at this. We're going to find the GCF for 4x to the fourth minus 12x squared plus 24x. And we say, well, what are all the pieces that we can gather up that are in all? Got to be in all of these terms. Got to be in each one. Well, the way we'll do this is we'll take each term and we'll break it down into its very smallest parts, and then we'll see what parts match up. So 4x to the fourth, we'll break down the numbers first. Let's see, can we break down 4 at all? Yes, 2 times 2, and we can't break down 2 any further, so the numbers are done. And x to the fourth will just be times x times x times x times x. And there's x to the fourth. Okay, 4x to the fourth is done. Let's do 12x squared. Let's see. Break down the numbers first. 12 will break down to 4 times 3. That's pretty easy, but don't, wait a minute. We can break down the 4. We can still break him down. So we'll break him down into 2 times 2. And we bring down the 3. And of course, x squared will just break down into x times x. So let's see, that becomes, the 4 became 2 times 2. We brought down the 3, and we brought down the x times x. And there we go, 2 times 2 times 3 times x is 12x squared, broken down into its smallest, simplest pieces. Okay, last one, 24x. Let's see, 24x, numbers first. 24, we could break that down into 8 times 3. You notice we can't break down the x, we just have times x. Okay, 8, that could be 4 times 2. Bring down the 3, bring down the x. And 4 can be broken down into 2 times 2. Bring down the 2, bring down the 3, bring down the x. So 24x can be broken down to be 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times x. Kind of a lot of steps to that one. Had to break down the 8, had to break down the 4. Now, this next piece will be something of a visual comparison. So let's get all this cleaned up a little bit and a little easier to see by recopying it. There we go. And we have this piece. Where, as I mentioned, this is a little easier, I think, to process visually. Now, let's look again, excuse me, let's look for the common factors. Well, let's see, start with the numbers. There's a 2 in each of these. I like that so far. Here's a 2, and there's a 2 here in this term, and there's a 2 here. Okay, another 2. Let's circle him. So far, so good. Oh, hey, we got some 3s. Got a 3, got a 3. No 3. Well, that would be nice to keep, but again, they have to be, the terms you circle have to be common to all the terms. The pieces have to be common to, have to be found in each term. So we can't include the 3. I think we're out of numbers. Yeah, I can't do any more numbers. Let's move on to variables. Well, let's see. They all have an x. There we go. And so we'll circle the x's. And these, there's still some more x's, but we notice we're out of x's here. On the last term, there are no more x's. So even though there are x's remaining in these 2 terms, remember, for the greatest common factor, the pieces we select have to be present in each of the terms. And we're out of x's down here, so we've circled all we can circle. So let's see, what did we circle? Let's copy this down here. We've got a 2. That's this guy. Times another 2. There we go. Did him. Times x. So 4x. 4x is the greatest common factor for 4x. That's 4x to the 4th. Sorry about that. 4x to the 4th minus 12x squared plus 24x. 4x is a combination of all the pieces that are in each term, and they're held together by multiplication. 4x is the greatest common factor for these 3 terms.